Hi, everybody. This is Deborah Hurwitz, your host of Productivity for Perfectionists, how to stop procrastinating, silence your inner critic, and get it done in 20 minutes a day. I am both excited and a little bit nervous about today's episode because it's going to be a little different than all of the rest. I would love to welcome Nick Bro to our episode today. And who Nick is a breakthrough specialist, happiness expert, computer hacker turned people hacker, Amazon best-selling author, keynote speaker, and alignment seeker. Nick is known for his success in both the world of law of attraction and in mental health. Nick helps people break free from their struggle, connect with their inner being, and find alignment so they can milk reality for everything it's worth. Nick is known for big breakthroughs, his work with the law of attraction, his book, The Power of Joy, keynote speaking such as Exploring the Inner Inbox, and work with corporate wellness. Nick Bro, welcome to Productivity for Perfectionists, and thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, fun to be here.
So what we're going to do today is a little different than the standard interview. Because Nick is an expert in EFT, or emotional freedom technique, also known as tapping, he has graciously volunteered to do a session for you guys with me. It's no accident that this is our topic. This is obviously a subject that's near and dear to my own heart, both as an artist, as an entrepreneur, and I'm putting myself in Nick's capable hands. So here we go.
Cool. So we've only got about half an hour, so we're going to kind of do a condensed session. I have no idea what to expect, but let's just kind of have fun with it.
I just want to let everybody know we have not rehearsed this in advance. We did not talk about anything in advance. I just said, let's do it.
So what is it that we want to work on today?
So for me, I have already from this summit derived such value and actually found myself breaking through incredible blocks when it comes to procrastination and the inner critic. However, the perfectionist piece is still a tough one for me. I really want everything to be just right. I want anything that has my name on it or that I'm representing to be smart and fabulous and sexy and good and be seen as smart and getting it all right and having it all together, and that's a tough one for me to let go of. I cringe whenever I see a typo in anything that goes out with my name on it, for example.
Perfect. So we want to get rid of that feeling or that belief that everything needs to be perfect. Correct?
Perfectionist here at your service.
Awesome. Okay, so for those of you who aren't familiar with emotional freedom technique, EFT tapping, maybe I'll just give a quick breakdown of exactly what we're going to be doing. So the theory behind EFT is that we have these energy meridians in our body, the same meridians used in acupuncture. The theory is that the emotions that we store are stored in those meridians, and by tapping on the major meridian endpoints and using the right statements, we're basically it's like you're shaking a pipe clogged with leaves and you're just letting the stuff out. So that's the theory behind tapping. My belief is that it doesn't really matter where you tap, simply that the process of tapping is occupying part of the conscious mind, and because that conscious mind is busy with the tapping, using the statements allows the emotions to come up and release much easier. And the way it works is I tap on myself, I use the statements, and then you basically follow along with me.
Sounds good.
Easy enough?
Easy enough.
Now, in tapping, we rank everything on a 0 to 10 scale. 0 being that you can't feel the emotion or the belief anymore, 10 being that if it were any stronger, your head would explode. Our goal essentially is to get everything down to a 0.
Mm-hmm.
And what you'll notice while you're tapping is that you might start at an 8 and it might go down 7, 6, 5. You might get down to a 3, but then you notice it's not going down anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But then you might notice another emotion coming up. So sometimes you kind of have to follow the trail of emotions to get everything cleared out. And the reason for that is that the emotions in our body are kind of layered like the onion layers of an onion, right? So sometimes you have to go to the deeper layers to remove the higher up layers or the top layers, the surface layers.
Can you give us an example of that so we can sort of really crystallize that?
Sure. So let's say you felt powerless your entire life. Well, you can sit there and tap on that powerless feeling and it might not go away. And it could be that at a subconscious level, because you've never felt powerful or empowered, there's a fear of being empowered, right? So you need to deal with that fear in order to allow yourself to let go of that surface layer emotion. I see it a lot in depression. So in the case of depression, there's sadness is at the surface, but underneath, the person might want to hold on to the sadness because they feel like the sadness might be serving them in some way.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Yep, totally get that. Okay.
Great, let's have some fun. Okay, so that feeling that things need to be perfect,
Mm-hmm.
can you rank that feeling on a 0 to 10 scale? Can you feel that right now?
Oh, it's up there. Let's go with, I mean, it all depends on what we're talking about. If I'm in a project or I'm making something and I've got a deadline or someone that's going to judge my work, or whether I'm going to succeed at something, whether I'm going to make money in something, right? That's when the pressure is kind of on.
So do you have a specific project in mind right now that's ongoing?
Well, hey, let's just get right out there and go with the summit.
Well, the summit's got to be perfect, right?
It's got to be perfect.
Okay, and how strong is that feeling that it's got to be perfect?
I go at about a 9. I mean, I'm working with some great coaches, and I've actually put myself in their hands to really provide great service here and do what I'm setting out to do. So there is a little bit of a sense of relying on others and trusting there, but I'm still me, so it's a 9.
Okay, it's a 9. It's got to be perfect. And can you tell where you can feel that feeling in your body? If it's like on your shoulders, in your chest, in your stomach?
It does feel like it's in my head, to be honest. It is. It's like it is really in my head. There's a little bit of a heaviness in my chest around being right, or like a fear of being wrong.
Okay. It's here.
Yeah, like the flip side of it has to be right is a very bad uh-oh.
Okay. And
I'm already breaking into a sweat.
and does that feeling have a color?
The first word that came to mind was black.
Black. Yeah, and that's typical. and that feeling, that energy, if it had a size, would it be kind of the size of a golf ball, a marble, a baseball, a basketball, a Lexus?
It feels like a column, actually, like a really rigid steel column.
Okay, a rigid column, perfect. Okay, and I have to be perfect because
my mom said so.
Okay, it also has to be perfect because
I have to get it right. I have to win.
Got to get it right. Okay, and it's got to be perfect because, give me one more.
Otherwise, they'll all know.
They'll know. Okay. And none of this.
I'm really going stream of consciousness here, man. I'm totally trusting you.
just go with it. So, okay, so we're going to start with the tapping.
Okay.
Now, typically you do a setup on it's called the karate chop point. Mm-hmm. But because you're all the way up to the 9, we're just going to skip the setup and we're just going to dive right in.
Okay.
Now, as we tap, you don't want to try to force it. You don't want to try to. You just want to kind of try to stay relaxed and feel the emotion. And sometimes the emotion will come up and then it'll subside. Sometimes it'll just dissolve. Mm-hmm. Just kind of roll with it and we'll just kind of see where it goes.
Sounds good.
So it's that 9, I got to be perfect feeling in your head. Cool. Okay, so follow along with me. And we've already gone over the tapping point, so you know the tapping points. So I got to be perfect.
I got to be perfect.
It's got to be perfect.
Got to be perfect.
That feeling in my head.
That feeling in my head.
It's got to be perfect.
Got to be perfect.
Mom said so.
Mom said so.
Got to get this summit right.
Got to get this summit right.
Got to get it right.
Got to get it right.
If I don't, they'll know.
If I don't, they'll know.
Get that perfect feeling in my head.
Perfect feeling in my head.
Got to be perfect.
Got to be perfect.
Mom said so.
Mom said so.
This has to be perfect.
Has to be perfect.
I got to get it right.
Got to get it right.
That feeling, I got to get it right.
I got to get it right. This is making me very anxious.
Okay, that's good. So take a deep breath. So is it still a 9, would you say?
It's actually more present.
Okay.
It's more so like right now.
Okay, good. And how strong is that anxious feeling?
8.
8. And where do you feel that anxious feeling?
In my chest.
Chest?
A little bit lower, like solar plexus.
That anxious feeling.
That anxious feeling.
Feeling anxious.
Feeling anxious.
I'm tapping on this stuff.
I'm tapping on this stuff.
In front of all these people.
All these people in front of all these people.
And it's making me anxious.
Making me very anxious.
Even though there's no need to feel anxious.
Even though there's no need to feel anxious. You sure about that?
I'm feeling anxious.
I'm feeling anxious.
I gotta feel anxious.
I gotta feel anxious.
Even though it doesn't serve me.
It doesn't serve me.
Even though I'm just here sitting in my office.
Even though I'm just here sitting in my office.
And everything's perfect.
And everything's perfect.
Still got that anxious feeling in my chest.
Still got that anxious feeling in my chest.
My solar plexus.
And my solar plexus.
Just can't relax.
Can't relax.
Feeling anxious.
Feeling anxious.
That anxious feeling.
That anxious feeling.
Take another deep breath. So that shifted a little bit.
Less anxious.
Okay, and what number would you give the anxious
Sitting here in
feeling?
my office. About a 6.
So it's gone down a little bit.
Yeah, a little just sort of like fluttery nervous.
Okay, and that feeling that I need to be perfect, still like a 9-10?
No, it's really more about getting it right and not disappointing anybody or myself.
Okay, so it's about disappointment then.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Being scared, like how
scared?
things could go horribly wrong somehow.
Fear of disappointment.
Yes.
Can you think of what time in your life, is there a specific event that comes up that brings up that feeling of disappointment that you're scared of?
There are many.
Can you bring up that feeling right now, that disappointed feeling?
Anytime I screwed up.
And how strong is it right now if you tap into it?
It's like a not ending thing. Like it's just fall and fall and fall and fall.
Okay, and what number would you give it? Can you tap into it, 0 to 10?
7.
Okay, and when you say I just fall and fall and fall and fall, would you consider those things failures?
It's like the disappointment, screwing up leads to things not working out, leads to me feeling more and more isolated and failing. Yes, but it's not specifically failing. It's more just like
Feeling.
things go wrong, things go wrong, things go wrong.
A disappointing feeling.
Disappointing feeling.
Disappointed feeling.
Disappointed feeling.
All those old disappointments
All of those old disappointments
I've been holding on to.
I've been holding on to.
Make me feel like I need to do better.
Making me feel like I need to do better.
I need to be perfect.
I need to be perfect.
All those old disappointing feelings
All those old disappointing feelings
that I've been carrying around
that I've been carrying around
for way too long,
for way too long.
that don't serve me.
That don't serve me.
That old disappointing feeling.
That old disappointing feeling.
That disappointing feeling.
Disappointing feeling.
That old disappointing feeling.
Old disappointing feeling.
That feeling of being disappointed
Feeling of being disappointed
that I've been carrying.
that I've been carrying.
That disappointed feeling.
Disappointed feeling.
So take a deep breath.
It showed up the disappointment of it's about not being loved.
Okay.
When I screw up, I'm not loved. I won't be loved. I'll be left alone.
And that kind of just popped in your head.
That felt very emotional.
Okay, and give that one a number, that not loved feeling.
It's a future fear. I know I'm loved now. It's a future fear. It will all go away.
Okay, so would you agree that it's an old emotion that, you decided at some point that maybe you're not loved or you're afraid that you're not being loved, but it's irrelevant now?
My head says it's irrelevant now, but the feeling is it's going to go horribly wrong if I don't get it right.
So 0 to 10, how strong is that feeling?
Really strong. 8, 9. It's up there.
That fear.
That fear.
That scary feeling.
That scary feeling.
Not being loved.
Not being loved.
That I've been holding on to for a long time.
That I've been holding on to for a long time.
Fear of not being loved.
Fear of not being loved.
That old feeling.
That old feeling.
That scary feeling.
That scared feeling.
I'm scared that people don't love me.
Scared that people don't love me.
Even though I've got amazing people around me.
I've got amazing people around me.
And an amazing Arbonne team that loves me.
Amazing Arbonne team that loves me. I wasn't talking about Arbonne in the summit.
And an inner being that loves me.
Inner being that loves me.
I just don't see it.
Just don't see it.
I just don't see it.
Don't see it.
That old feeling.
Old feeling.
I'm just not loved.
Just not loved.
Even though Nick knows that I'm loved.
Nick knows that I'm loved.
My inner being knows that I'm loved.
My inner being knows that I'm loved.
But I just haven't been able to see it.
I haven't been able to see it.
That feeling that I'm just not loved.
That worry that I'm just not loved.
That scary feeling.
Scary feeling.
Maybe I can let that go.
Maybe I can let that go.
Maybe I can realize that I don't have to be afraid of not being loved.
Maybe I can realize that I don't have to have the fate of not being loved.
That there's lots of people around me that love me.
Lots of people around me that love me.
And that maybe I've always been loved.
I've always been loved.
Maybe I just never saw it.
I just never saw it.
Maybe I can let that feeling go.
I know what it is. Oh my God.
Okay.
Damn it. You said I might cry, and I was like, no, I'm not going to cry.
Okay. That's good. That's a sign of progress. So that old feeling.
It's money. I feel like I can't have money and love at the same time.
Can't have money and love at the same time.
Money and love at the same time.
Can't have both.
Can't have both.
Because if I do,
If I do,
then what?
I'll lose one or the other.
I'll lose one or the other.
Can't have both at the same
I
time.
just can't have both.
Can't have both. I can make a lot of money, but I have to be alone and scared and make a lot of money, or I can be loved and scared about money.
I just can't have both.
Can't have both.
Even though Nick has both.
Even though Nick has both.
And lots of other people have both.
Lots of other people have both.
I just can't.
I just can't. God, I don't really believe that other people really have both. When
I just can't have both.
Money, I believe they're really secretly unhappy.
I'm secretly unhappy.
Secretly unhappy.
Secretly unhappy.
Secretly unhappy.
That's what I believe.
That's what I believe.
'Cause that's probably what I witnessed.
That's what I witnessed.
And I haven't seen anything to contradict that.
I haven't seen too much to contradict that.
That's got to be true.
It's gotta be true.
Got to be true.
Gotta be true.
Even though Nick knows it's not true.
Nick knows it's not true.
My inner being knows it's not true.
My inner being, not so sure.
So maybe I can let that go.
Maybe I can let that go.
Maybe I can see that people really do have both.
Maybe I can see that people really do have both.
And that I can too.
And that I can too.
So maybe I can let that feeling go.
Maybe I can let that feeling go.
That I just can't have both.
That I just can't have both.
It's just not possible for me.
Just not possible for me.
Maybe it is.
Maybe it is.
Because Nick knows it is.
Nick knows it is.
My inner being knows.
My inner being knows.
Maybe I can see that too.
Maybe I can see that too.
Awesome. Good job. So take a deep breath.
Whew!
Keep tapping. We're not done. So how are you feeling now?
Whew! Emotionally full.
Okay.
Let's just
So
stay very present and forward.
good. So is there a heavy
It's
emotion?
crystal clear, though. It feels crystal clear.
So lots of new awareness is coming up, right?
Yeah.
As we go through the layers,
Yeah.
right? Those root causes are surfacing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So any heavy emotion at the surface right now?
Yearning, wishing, wanting something. There's like a real longing there. It's like,
Okay. And you don't have to label it either. So as long as you can feel it, we can tap on it.
There's some sadness.
Sadness. Okay. 0 to 10.
9.
Get that sad feeling.
Sad feeling.
That old sad feeling.
Old sad feeling.
You're doing so good. That old sad feeling.
That old sad feeling.
I didn't even realize was there.
I did not even realize was there.
That I can finally let go.
I can finally let go.
That old sad feeling.
Old sad feeling.
It's probably been weighing me down,
Probably been weighing me down.
even though I didn't realize it.
No, I did not realize it.
Didn't even know it was there.
Didn't even know it was there.
But now I can let it go.
I can let it go.
Maybe I can say I don't need to be sad.
I don't need to be sad.
I got a pretty amazing life
I have a pretty amazing life.
where I can have anything I want,
I can have anything I want,
including the money
including the money
and the love
and the love
and the happiness.
and the happiness
Okay, so
at
deep breath.
the same time.
Good. So take a deep breath. And has that sadness mostly dissipated or is it still there?
4.
4? Okay. So that little bit I'm still holding on to,
A little bit I'm still holding on to.
that little bit of sad feeling,
Regret,
that little bit of regret,
loss
that feeling of loss and regret,
in the past, sadness,
that past sadness,
past sadness,
all that past sadness
all that past sadness.
that's no longer relevant,
No longer relevant.
doesn't have any impact on the now,
Doesn't have any impact on the now.
but I'm still holding on to it.
Still holding on to it.
All that past stuff,
All that past stuff.
all that past stuff.
Wish I could do it over.
Wish I could do it over.
Wish I could do it over.
Just wish I could do it over.
But not really.
Even though everything is perfect now,
Everything's good now.
even though I don't always see it.
Even though
I don't always see it.
I don't always see it.
So maybe I can let that go.
Maybe I can let that go.
Okay, deep breath. So two comments. One, your inner being never looks back. It's always looking at what's going on now and what's coming up.
Okay.
Second, every time the Wright brothers crashed a prototype before their first flight, was that a success or a failure?
Oh, well, it was a failure on the way to success, right?
Right. So were they necessary steps?
Definitely.
Okay. So were they part of an overall success?
Yes.
So if we transfer that over to your life, is it very possible that all of your perceived failures are necessary stepping stones in your overall success?
Yes.
Good. Okay, so maybe I've never been a failure.
Maybe I've never been a failure.
Maybe I don't need to be disappointed about all of those things.
Maybe I don't need to be disappointed about all those things.
And the way they turned out.
And the way they turned out.
Because maybe they were exactly what I needed.
Maybe they were exactly what I needed.
To become exactly who I am today.
To become exactly who I am today.
And become who I want to be.
And becoming who I want to be.
Down the road.
On the road.
So maybe I can let all that stuff go.
Maybe I can let all that stuff go.
All the disappointment.
All the disappointment.
All the sadness.
All the sadness.
All that perception of failure.
All that perception of failure.
And realize that everything is perfect.
Realize that everything is perfect.
And everything is working out for me.
Everything is working out for me.
And I can let all that stuff go.
I can let all that stuff go.
All that stuff go.
Let that stuff go.
We can let all that stuff go.
I can let all that stuff go.
Okay, take a deep breath. How do you feel now?
Gratitude.
No more heaviness?
No, full, but different kind of full.
Good, okay. And then what about that feeling I need to be perfect? How does that feel now?
Deep wisdom is this phrase that keeps coming up. Like that's there.
Awesome.
It wants to talk to me.
Awesome. So you gotta go do some good journaling and meditation once we're done.
Ooh.
Okay, so let's take a tapping break.
Okay.
Good job, you did awesome.
Oh my goodness. I really hope this is helpful for everybody.
Oh, absolutely, I have no doubt. This went really well because we really it was really a good demonstration of how those layers are very apparent.
Yeah.
Once you start digging into them.
Ooh. Yeah. I actually feel a little lightheaded right now.
and you'll probably be quite tired as well. So
so glad I did this first thing in the morning with a really full day ahead of me.
Yeah. You might want to sneak in a power nap for sure. But you did fantastic.
Green tea.
So any questions about that process?
Wow. Yes, all of the questions. Well, first of all, thank you, and I really appreciate how quickly you went through that with me. Like, you made connections I definitely would not have made. I've done a lot of personal growth work. It's one of the reasons I'm doing this summit. I'm here to help people, and I also freely acknowledge that these are issues that are with me and present with me, and so I'm getting trained along with everybody else. But honestly, I have done a lot of work on making money and a lot of work on happiness and a lot of work on love. And I'm married to a man who's devoted to me and is brilliant and wonderful and has his own problems like everybody does, but totally has my back. And I've made a lot of money and cracked a lot of success codes around that. But there have been these pieces where somehow I can't quite lock it all in. And I did not see a connection directly between money and love and feeling like I couldn't have both at the same time.
Totally.
I have not seen that. That was brand new.
And like this stuff isn't unique to you. Like everybody is carrying this baggage they don't realize they have. And that's why it's the focus of my work. Because it is so life-changing when you deal with this stuff. Like to give you an example, I was telling you earlier that I deal with people who also have chronic pain. And I worked with a lady just the last couple of weeks. After two tapping sessions, she let go of persistent chronic pain that she's had for over 5 years and being heavily medicated on, completely gone after 2 tapping sessions, right?
Phenomenal.
A lot of people don't have the awareness that these emotions are there and that they impact career, money, relationships, love, your physical body, weight loss. All of this stuff comes back to the things we're carrying.
I also have done so much work around letting go of regret and past disappointments. And I was surprised at how strongly that emotion showed up, given how much I think I've done to let it go.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, that disappointment in the past and how things went in the past, and disappointment, I didn't get a chance to totally vocalize this, but disappointment, like flagellating myself for somehow not having learned the lesson, and then I did it again, or or something went wrong again in a way that totally blindsided me, and I didn't see it coming. But in retrospect, I saw, oh, that same pattern happened again. I participated in that again. I am responsible for that somehow, even though I didn't see it coming and thought I was doing everything so much better this time. Whether it was a relationship or a gig or something like that, and did not realize how much I was holding on to my own disappointment in those things, and my disappointment in myself for having been responsible for those things. But I love your Wright brothers analogy. I've heard versions of that before, but it was very helpful to apply to this.
Absolutely.
And at least trust, even if I don't see it immediately in my own cerebral recollection of those events, that something did shift somewhere, or at least there was something that needed to happen again and again so that I could be here. Thank you. Okay, you said it was a break, so I'm ready. What's next?
Yeah, so I mean, we can tap some more. I think typically when you've gone through that much clearing that fast,
I feel like we're good here.
really good, yeah. And typically when I work with clients,
Yeah.
we come back week after week and we see what comes up and we go through the layers. And once you finish going through all those layers, your life is completely changed for everybody who does this work.
No, you said, do I have questions? And I said yes, and I just proceeded to talk and share what was going on with me. But I hope that's helpful for everyone else too. Yeah, I guess, I mean, I'd love to just turn it back to you a little bit and ask you the question. Turn it back to you exactly, but ask you the question. We know a little bit about your life and where you've come from and what you've been doing, but where is it in you? Because I know we've got coaches in our seminar and people who are teachers and leaders themselves. What are the talents or the skills or the learning that is in you or has been in your story that has brought you to this kind of place where you're able to lead people through this kind of process so effectively?
Yeah, my background is quite unique. So I spent 10 years in tech. So my original training is in computer science. And my specialty in tech was architecting systems and troubleshooting really complex problems. So I spent 10 years training my analytical mind to find really complex problems. Eventually, the last tech company that I was working for was acquired for a fair amount of money. That gave me the financial freedom to step away from that world and fully step into this world. I've been studying this stuff for over a decade now. And when I was in tech, I would combine different technologies to solve a problem. And what I've done in this world is I've studied formally trained in over a dozen different modalities, although the tapping is mainly the only one I use anymore. And so my specialty is doing exactly what I did with computers, but instead of doing it with computers, I'm doing it with people's minds and emotions.
Amazing. You're doing it well.
And it's funny because a lot of the times people will say, wow, what you're doing now is so different than what you used to do back then. And I tell people it's actually very similar, right? Human behavior is based on the programming that we pick up and our desires. Anything that you desire that thing because how you believe that thing will make you feel.
Right.
So all of our behavior, all of our programming, the relationships we attract, it's all based on what we hold inside of us.
So interesting. We are pretty much at our 30 minutes, but oh my gosh, Nick, rock star. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your work on me. I feel like I've had a lifetime of breakthroughs in the last 20 minutes. So thank you so much. Tell us just quickly about the free gift that people are going to be able to get on your speaker page and to be able to get more of you, which I know they're going to want.
Yeah, I've got a lot of free gifts that I kind of hand out here and there. Lately I've been offering just gift sessions, gift 30-minute breakthrough. What's your block? We don't do tapping in those sessions because I don't want to bring up a whole can of worms. We help people figure out their blocks. I've got a team of practitioners that I'm training now.
Wonderful.
So I personally don't have time to get back to people and give them those breakthrough sessions.
Got it.
Get other people who can help them out too.
That's great.
So that's a great starting point, and my website's just nickbro.com.
Perfect. Excellent. Well, everybody's got that link on your page and in their emails. Thank you again so much for your time. What a pleasure. What a treat. Thanks, Nick. Bye, everybody.